Welcome back to In the Zone. I'm your host, Paige Davis. With the Super Bowl just around the corner, teams getting ready for the Olympics in Milan, a wild pick for the Pro Bowl, and much more. There's a lot to talk about. In the Zone starts now. Joining me on desk this week is Gehrig, Milbrandt, and Ashton. The 2026 Pro Bowl was held on February 3rd, and for many viewers, the star of the show was the Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. Despite the only throwing 7 touchdown passes across 8 games, the primetime sire was brought to the San Francisco as replacement for Patriots quarterback Drake May. He showed, in quote, flashes arm talent, end quote, along with an entertaining presence on the field. He also was the first Pro Bowl quarterback in over 20 years to originate from a historically black college or university, Jackson State University, serving as his alma mater. But Sanders didn't just catch footballs at the Pro Bowl. Armed with a camera, Shedeur wandered across Montcalm Center, catching behind-the-scenes moments that went viral on social media. He later took to Twitter to express his gratitude for playing in the Pro Bowl. Ashton, what did you think of Shedeur's debut?
I think Shedeur Sanders is a really good quarterback, but even though they didn't have a good regular season, but in the when I was watching the Pro Bowl, he was doing really good. Mm-hmm. He's like that guy who can do throw balls and get some good passes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the big thing is I feel like the Cleveland Browns tend to be the butt of a lot of jokes because unfortunately for the Cleveland Browns, they've never won a Super Bowl. They've never even been to the Super Bowl. So I know that they tend to be the butt of every joke, but it's nice to see that they have something going for them well for a change. And also a little viral social media moment. That's always fun.
Yeah.
All right. And Gehrig, do you have any thoughts about the Pro Bowl?
I really like Shedeur Sanders getting into the Pro Bowl, and it's not for the reason you think. He did throw a pick 6 on his first pass there. Again, so the NFL is a very, very big problem, and sports as a whole has a really big all-star game problem. NBA All-Star, awful. They do it every year. They change it every 2 years. No one watches it. The NFL Pro Bowl happened on a Tuesday night in some random warehouse in San Francisco. I didn't even know what happened. I figured out the thing happened after it was over.
I didn't even know what happened.
I know. Shedeur Sanders was a great pick because he is a rage bait candidate. So if you're the NFL, you want to get people talking about the Pro Bowl. You want to get us talking about the Pro Bowl, and it worked. He threw 7 touchdowns in the regular season in 8 games. He looked awful. He's not an NFL-ready quarterback, but that doesn't matter because the Pro Bowl hasn't mattered since they moved it out of Hawaii. So it's already a laughingstock sideshow. Get a little rage bait, get a little engagement. Shedeur Sanders was perfect. Rare Roger Goodell W.
You know what? And you know what? You guys cooked on that one. Rare Pro Bowl W, even though you guys did it in a warehouse.
Yeah.
The NFL just saw one of the best games of the season happen in a pretty unusual environment. Raymond James Stadium, home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, saw 2 Atlantic Division foes in the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning square off last Sunday. This one had everything for a few hockey fans, including a sellout crowd, a blown 5-1 lead by the Bruins, and a shootout win for the home side. But what has grabbed the internet's attention most was a rare goalie fight between Boston's Jeremy Swayman and Tampa's Andrei Vasilevsky. Gehrig, for those who were unfortunate enough to miss this one, talk us through what made this game so great.
As you said in the lead into it, this one had everything for a hockey fan. Usually, I don't know what devil magic Gary Bettman is pulling behind the strings there. He made me not only just enjoy, but watch every second of an outdoor hockey game in Florida. Usually don't think that goes well, but sellout crowd. Tampa showed out. Good for them. Yeah, when you get a stadium actually in Tampa Bay fans show up. Tampa Bay Rays take notes on that. But game had everything. Sellout crowd, a lot of Yankees there. I like that. But Boston jumps out to a 5-1 lead. Then a goalie fight between Andrei Vasilevsky and Jeremy Swayman
I did hear
happens.
about that.
Now that is, for those who don't watch hockey, you're already on skates, but goalies have big pads on. They got their gloves, they got their stick. It's so hard to already balance and stand up like that. But to get in a tilt with someone like that, pure athleticism and just determination out of Swayman and Vasilevsky. The fight was pretty good, too. A couple shots got thrown in. Swayman goes down. Vasilevsky skates off victorious. Crowd goes crazy. Boston's still up 5-1. Tampa comes back, though. You left a whole half of the game left. They come in, get to the shootout. Shootout was electric. Vasilevsky stands on his head and makes all 3 saves. Tampa puts 1 through, and they win it in front of the home crowd. It was just beautiful. And look up Tampa Bay's coach. Look how he dressed. He had the white and black pinstripe suit and a fedora. Man was styling out there more than me. It was just, it's perfect. Just perfect.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I love that for all hockey fans. I did hear about the goalie fight, which is crazy because I feel like I heard that goalie fights don't really happen very often because of the penalties that you get for it. So that's insane. You really got the best of both worlds, and then you got a comeback from like a 4-point, I was going to say from a 4-point lead. Ashton, do you have any thoughts about this?
I'm not really big of a hockey fan, but I'm a Penguins fan, to say. But picking a fight with a goalie, that's pretty intense. Because those goalies, they're big, they're massive. Like, if you try to fight a goalie, you're not going to get up from that. Like, that is a top-tier fight that I would love to watch. That's a hockey goalie inside the goal, and the guy picking a fight with him. That's just nuts.
And if you know a couple goalies like I do, they are genuine insane people. So that's not a good choice.
That's crazy. I can only imagine, like, especially with them, like all the equipment on, you're just like trying to go ham.
It's tough, yeah.
I need to see that happen in real life. One day it'll happen. I'll be at a hockey game. It'll happen. It is an Olympic year once again, and a few members of Team USA are definitely on our radars. Alex Fiere, a freestyle skier, will be making his 3rd trip to the Games and is looking for gold after winning silver in 2018 and bronze in 2022. Figure skater Alyssa Liu has returned from her retirement for her 2nd Olympic Games and is looking to keep her comeback momentum going throughout this year's competition. Another figure skater, Amber Glenn, is competing at her 1st Olympic Games and is the first openly queer figure skater to compete. Figure skater Isla Manlin, better known as the Quad God, is also heading to his 1st Olympics. Speed skater Brittany Bowe is returning for her 4th Games with the hopes of medaling once again, while Lindsey Vonn is set to compete in her 5th Olympic Games, even after suffering an injury in late January. One team to watch out for is women's ice hockey team with notable athletes such as Caroline Harvey, Hillary Knight, and Kendall Coyne Schofield. Some are even wondering, will there be another miracle on ice showdown against Canada? Ashton, what events are you most excited for?
Well, I love the Olympics, and I love all the events. But the event right now that I would love to watch will be the hockey. I would see the hockey, like the hockey team, like the Team USA stuff, be good. I would also like to watch the skiing, like that guy we were just talking about. I love watching skiing because the people with the skiing is pretty highly impressive. And they go like very fast in between stuff like that, and it's just a really interesting way to watch these Olympic Games.
I agree. I think a big thing that I'm excited for, I'm pretty sure bobsledding is a sport in the Olympics, and I always find that super interesting to watch. I'm like, okay. So many of the winter sports that they do, like curling, etc. It's so interesting and super cool to watch every 2 years, because they do the winter ones every 2 years comparative to the summer ones they do every 4 years. Gehrig, who are you anticipating will medal this year?
The Quad God? Are you kidding me? That's an actual nickname? Bet the house on that guy.
Right.
But I'm going to give you a little, listen to me. I'll never lead you astray, folks. I love you out there. Listen to me. For the ice dance competition, bet on Gleb Smolkin and Diana Davis out of Georgia. I have no idea who these people are, but the name Gleb is funny. So at least a bronze come to Georgia there. And the event I'm most excited for is the biathlon. Now, it sounds pretty Olympic-y, don't really know what that is, but it's skiing down a hill and then start shooting at targets immediately.
Oh, shoot.
It's awesome. I don't know. That's so cool. I wonder how people come up with these sports like hockey. Hockey is such a goofy sport. Let's put knives on our feet and throw a piece of rubber around some ice. It's awesome. And biathlon kind of has the spirit of hockey. But yeah, Gleb Smolkin and Diana Davis. Mark my words.
Place your sports bets, guys. I was going to say DraftKings bets. If Gehrig's right, pay him out.
Yeah.
Now, let's send it over to Miles Shenk for the latest in Marauder athletics. Miles?
Thanks, Paige. As we kick off the spring semester, Millersville Athletics is already setting the tone with strong performances across the board. We'll be starting with things off in the deep end, where Millersville women's swimming demolishes the Vulcans of California, PA, securing a road win. The final score of the meet was 161 to 81. The Marauders picked up 10 first-place finishes on the day, highlighted by strong distance swims and a first-place finish in the 200-yard freestyle relay. Getting out of the pool and onto the track, women's indoor track and field turned into a big weekend at Bucknell's Bison Challenge and Multi. Ava Wilson led the way with a second-place finish in the pentathlon, setting multiple personal bests, while Sarah Hessler placed second in the weight throw, with personal best mark that met the NCAA provisional standards. Finally, from the track onto the court, it was a tough loss for men's basketball, as the Marauders could not recover from an early East Stroudsburg run, falling from 87 to 77. This was not a complete defeat, as Day Waters led Millersville with 19 points and 5 steals, and Amir Hurst added 17 in the effort. With the semester just getting underway and momentum already building, it's a strong start for Marauder Athletics this spring. Now I'll send it back to the desk to talk about the upcoming MLB season. Paige?
Thanks, Miles. Spring training is on the horizon with the first games of 2026 just 2 weeks away. Since our last episode, lots in the baseball world has changed, but a lot has also stayed the same too. The Dodgers somehow got better again, adding star closer Edwin Diaz and outfielder Kyle Tucker. Phillies pitcher Ranger Suarez traded in his red pin strips for a Red Sox jersey, and other key Mets stars Pete Alonso and Brandon Nimmo swapped uniforms as well. Meanwhile, key free agents like Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, and Cody Bellinger all returned to their prior teams. Even just before the games get started, a few major free agents still remain, such as frontline pitcher Zach Gallen and beloved ex-Phillies first baseman Rhys Hoskins. Gehrig, what are your thoughts on the moves made this offseason? And so far, what do you think is next for these current free agents?
Well, beloved is a strong term I don't think 29 other fan bases would use to describe Rhys Hoskins, but our Philly fans here are the writers, so I'll give them their due in that department. But NLE offseason has been very interesting so far. The Dodgers obviously getting Kyle Tucker in there. Edwin Diaz, he's not very good. After that World Baseball Classic injury, really kind of fell off the face of the earth after that. I'm not really too worried about that. Kyle Tucker, he's getting paid, what, $10 million or more a year than Aaron Judge to be like the 8th best player on his team. It's broken. We're not going to play baseball in 2027 if this keeps happening, but I want to go to the nexus of my pain in my soul, the New York Yankees. What an offseason for the Yankees. Just kind of playing a will they, won't they with Cody Bellinger for months. That was kind of the entire offseason there. Didn't really have a backup plan if he didn't sign. Gave him the bag. It was just, he wasn't really going with any other teams. It was just Bellinger and the Yankees just kind of going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth for months, and just nothing really happening outside that. We signed a couple minor league pitchers. We got Paul Blackburn back. Just run the same thing back. Try it again. We got blown out in the divisionals last year. Every other team in the division got better. We just kind of stayed the same. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers of baseball.
Yep. Run it back monster once again.
Yep.
Ashton, what are your thoughts on all of this stuff in the baseball world?
Well, one, I love to talk about baseball. Baseball is actually my third favorite sport, but I'm a Phillies fan, and I'm happy that my guy JT is back with the Phillies. Let's go, and Kyle Schwarber. We got Kyle Schwarber back and JT. We're going to be the exact same team we're going to be. Mark my words, Phillies are going to the World Series. But there's a lot of teams out there, like, I've had it with the Dodgers now. Kyle Tucker going to the Dodgers. I'm done with the Mets too. Like, all these random, the normal all-star people going to these teams is just insane. But and Rhys Hoskins too. Rhys Hoskins, the former Philly. All these great guys that are doing a really great job in baseball right now is really impressive. But my words, Phillies, World Series, here we go, here we come.
You know, Ashton, I will give you $50 if the Phillies make the World Series. You're watching, so you'll see it then. Shake on it.
Yeah, we're shaking on it.
They're getting knocked out. They're getting knocked out. Divisional round at the farthest. No way.
I was gonna say we will have to see about that. Will Ashton get his $50?
No.
Will Ashton get his $50 come later this year? You'll have to watch and find out. And
I will.
When this episode when the next episode airs, when the Phillies might make the World Series. Trouble in the Steel City as Mike Tomlin stepped down from the head coach position on January 13th after 19 seasons with the team, the longest running tenure in the organization. Tomlin, who left the Steelers with 2 years remaining on his contract, stated that he was stepping down at a Tuesday meeting following their loss to the Texans. To replace him, the Steelers have hired former Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, who coached the team from 2020 to 2024 and led the Cowboys to the postseason 3 of his 5 seasons. These huge changes leave so much uncertainty in the Steelers. Ashton, what do you think about Tomlin stepping down, and do you think about his replacement?
Well, one, well, let's get out of the way. I want to be Eagles and Steelers Super Bowl, but that didn't happen. But I love Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a great coach. For the Steelers. But it's okay that he stepped down and go to the Texans, but Mike McCarthy to the Steelers ain't it, Chief. He is a terrible coach. He straight up terrible coach. I don't like him at all. I think the Steelers are going to have a tough job with Mike McCarthy this year because of when he coached the Cowboys. They were decent, but he ain't gonna lead the Steelers to a Super Bowl. It's never gonna happen.
I also agree with that statement, as my boyfriend's entire family, they're all Steelers fans, so I hear about the Steelers all the time. They were not the biggest fans of Mike Tomlin because it's like everything's very stagnant with Mike Tomlin, and I know they were kind of sick of it, especially for 19 seasons, as this is literally I think it's the 4th coach in Steelers organization's history, which is crazy for a team that's been around that long. I'd say I'm hopeful, but I fear they always make it to the playoffs, and then they're always first round exits. We'll see if they even make the playoffs next year. Gehrig, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I got my Steelers colors on today, and I think the whole desk is in agreement. Mike McCarthy won that Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers against the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier on in his career, but I'd say that was mostly Aaron Rodgers kind of carrying that Packers squad. I really think this was the worst possible move the Steelers could have made. Not because Mike McCarthy is a terrible coach. I don't think he's that great. But situationally, this is the worst move they could have made. Because Mike Tomlin leaves. He's had that culture in there for 19 years. That's a long time. That's about as long as I've existed.
Right, I was about to say.
So you just kind of bring in offensive Mike Tomlin to replace him. You're really not going to get much out of there. And they say he's a quarterback developer. What quarterbacks do you have to develop?
Right, I was going to say.
You have 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and you got Will Howard. What are you going to do with that? I don't think Will Howard's the guy. I mean, he's been sitting behind Rodgers for a couple of years. That might help him a little bit, but this is overall probably the worst possible move the Steelers could have done. And they're not going to be bad enough to tank and get a good pick, and they're not going to be good enough to compete. They're just going to be stuck in that middle, and I don't think this is going to move the needle at all. Maybe from 9-8 and 10-7 to 8-9 and 9-8. That's what I see the Steelers going.
Yeah.
I think Brian Flores would have been a much better hire because he was the Steelers were one of the teams he didn't sue for racial discrimination to. He was on the Steelers defensive roster, on the defensive staff for a while. Seems like a great fit for the team. I don't know why they didn't go with him.
I don't know. I feel like they're always trying to sabotage the Steelers when the Steelers are just trying to do their thing. I am hoping for the best for the Steelers, but, it's been so stagnant for them. And I think the last time they went to the Super Bowl was 09, I want to say it was, somewhere around there?
In the neighborhood, yeah.
It's somewhere in that era. I think that we're about to be getting into the Super Bowl, so I'll share my thoughts then. And finally, the long-awaited Super Bowl 60 is this weekend, February 8th. The New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks are set to take the Super Bowl field for the first time together since 2015, in which the Patriots took home the Lombardi Trophy over the Seahawks. So what does this mean for 2026 Super Bowl? Well, both teams have a 14-3 record, but the Patriots lost the top seed of the AFC to the Denver Broncos, who unfortunately lost their momentum after Bo Nix broke his ankle and was out for the remainder of the playoffs. So we are back with a historic matchup. Gehrig, who are you placing your bets on for winning the Super Bowl this year?
Now, again, I'm going to go with chalk here. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think the Patriots, they're a good team. I don't think they're the schedule merch that people play them up to be, but Drake May played, I think, the first, second, and fifth hardest defense in the league, but just his numbers he's been putting up just isn't going to carry you. It'll win you a couple games. I don't think it's going to win you a Super Bowl. And the Seahawks have just been obliterating every team they've been playing since about week 16. I think if the Bears would have got past the Rams, would have had probably a worse game than what the Rams would have done. We probably would have got just folded by the Seahawks. The Niners got folded by the Seahawks. I think they're just a juggernaut, and I'd take the Seahawks by 2 scores.
And you know what? That's fair. I would love to see a Patriots win just because that would put them at enough Super Bowl rings above the Steelers. Nothing against the Steelers, just my entire mom's side of the family is all Patriots fans. So, you know, I'm obligated to root for them, and I would love to see them win. But I think also the way the Seahawks have been playing, like, for a majority of the second half of the season, they, like you said, they've been obliterating everybody and everything in their path. And I could see that also happening in the Super Bowl as well. I'm also just hoping it's a good game as well because my Nana's a Seahawks fan. So I'd be happy either way with whoever won, considering this would only be the Seahawks' second win, but then the Patriots would finally have the title for the most Super Bowl wins. Ashton, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts for the Super Bowl, I'm going with what Gehrig said. I want the Seahawks to win because, honestly, if you think the Patriots are going to win, I don't know what the Patriots are going to do, but they are a good team. You got Drake May, you got all those other guys, and they also got Keehan Booty, a guy who can catch the ball. You got some really good teammates, but the Seahawks have Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold, right now, would be my favorite quarterback right now to go to the Super Bowl because this man played with 8 NFL teams. That's nuts. Have a guy who played with 8 NFL teams to now make it to a Super Bowl is impressive. And I want to see a blowout. I want to see a blowout. 55-0 in the Super Bowl. Seahawks blowout. It's going to be a great game. Like, I want to see him pass the JSN. It's going to be a great game.
And them's his fighting words, Ashton.
Yeah, I fear I do not want to see a blowout. I would like a very close offensive game because then that's like a nice little nail biter. I can appreciate a defense game, but for the Super Bowl, you always want some action and stuff like that. You want it to be a good game, and I love a good offensive close game because then it's like, oh, you're excited because your team's winning, but then you're excited because the other team's winning, and it's just, I'm excited regardless. I'm excited to see who wins. I got the Patriots on this one. Do I think the Seahawks? I think that they could win against the Seahawks, but we will ultimately have to see. Once again, this is not Tom Brady's team anymore. This is Drake May's team. So we will see what happens on February 8th, and we will report back next week. Now, it's time to go out of bounds. This week on Out of Bounds, where we look at strange, unique, or funny sports and sports moments. This week, we're setting our sights on the world of German game shows with American ice football, ex-soccer players, influencers, and other German celebrities who mostly don't know how to play football were invited to play a very interesting new form of football where they play on an arena football-sized sheet of ice wearing hockey pads, hockey gloves, football helmets, and bowling shoes. All of that combined results in a very unique take on the game. Let's have a look.
Ein Verteidiger dran an Mimi Kraus, als zu Boden geht. Mit dem Knie auch durchaus am Boden war. Spiel läuft weiter, rutscht in die Endzone. 6 Punkte. Und höchstpersönlich jetzt auch wieder Mimi mit dem Point after Touchdown, der ist gut. 2014. Uhr steht immer nur nach Touchdowns, um hier auch ein bisschen Ruhe für diese Versuche zu haben. Ansonsten, anders als beim NFL Football, als beim American Football generell, läuft die Uhr hier durch.
Now, Gehrig, do you think you could see this form of football catching on back in the United States?
Of course I can. We got a decent look there. We got to look at the kicking game there. Again, no rushers coming out. You just got to do it on ice. But wearing bowling shoes in here on ice, I think it's hard enough without having a couple guys rush at you. And if you want to watch the rest of that, just look up German ice football on YouTube. Playlist will pop up. You'll get all the games they did. It's electric. I love it. Put them in bowling shoes. Have them play football on ice. It's some of the best content you'll see out there. And I think this is the spiritual successor of the game. I think this is just a beautiful rendition of all the things that make football great coming together. Getting a bunch of German people who have never played football in their entire lives catch with hockey gloves and slip around and give each other concussions. It just makes my heart flutter. It's beautiful.
I'm so happy for you, Gehrig. I thought that was fairly entertaining. Bring ice hockey, football, whatever you want to call it, to the United States. Do you have any thoughts on this, Ashton?
I think it was kind of strange.
Really?
to see these people do this, but I love to watch it. It looks interesting.
It looks entertaining.
It
I
looks
agree.
entertaining. Yeah, it looks entertaining. The question is, would I do that? No, I would not do that myself, but I would see other people do it because obviously that kick was insane. Because you were standing on ice.
In
kicking the
bowling
ball.
shoes too, bro.
Yeah, in bowling shoes. I was about to say that. And I was confused why people were throwing the guy the ball, catching it instead of
Right. I
staying
agree.
around him instead of running. I don't know. It's interesting.
I agree. That'll do it for this episode of In the Zone. For Gehrig, Milbrandt, Ashton Lagos, Miles Shenk, and the entire In the Zone crew, I'm your host, Payje Davis. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you right here next time on In the Zone.